So I have all of these scraps left over from where I was working on the double journal cover. And so I thought, why not use them? And so here's the cover. I have it, it's dry and it's ready to start adding the pages. But before I start creating the journal, I thought I wanted to make some journal cards and using these scraps. And so I have this piece of scrapbook paper. It's the thinner scrapbook paper from years ago. And this is a print that I will never use. I've had it for years and years and it just doesn't match anything that I would create. So I thought with the back being plain to be a great journaling spot, so I'm going to just go ahead and collage on it using these scraps. And then I can use these journal cards in my journal as pockets or as cards to write on. So we'll see what I use them for. And I could turn them into tags as well. So I'm not even going to think about this collage. I'm just going to start adding these bits and pieces of scraps to the paper, just random, and I think that it's going to turn out great because I loved how the journal looked. I really loved all these papers together on the journal cover, so I thought this would be a great way to make some journal cards. So most of these scraps have already been torn up, so all I have to do is just grab them and add some glue to them. And I am going to use my glue stick because I'm going to do these like I did the cover. Since this paper is fairly thin, I think it would work out just fine. So I'm going to collage this, and then when I get through collaging, I am going to cover it with the Mod Podge again. I really liked how that turned out on the cover, and so I want to try that on some journaling cards as well. And this won't be as thick as the cover since the cover was double layer. You know, I was collaging the front and the back. I'm just going to collage the front, and so I don't think it'll be too thick for a journal card or a tag or anything like that, a pocket that I'd want to add to my journal. And I think it'll be neat to use the Mod Podge on it so that it kind of seals it up, but I kind of like the look that it gave when I did that to my cover, so I want to try it for the cards for my journal. And so I'm really having a lot of fun with this journal, and I've gone ahead and picked out some pages that I'm going to put in the journal, but I haven't totally figured them all out yet because when I got through, put them together, I felt like it was missing something. So I'm going to dig through some of my floral books and different things that I have and see what else I can add to it. And since this is I'm going to use mainly in my journal the pages Among the Wildflowers. So since it's a wildflower book, it can be a spring, summery style book. So I'm going to pull pages from different field guides and floral books to add to it. And I really love all of these papers. So that one was from Among the Wildflowers. And then I had mentioned in my other video, but I will mention again just in case anybody's wondering, some of these papers are from My Porch Prints, Among the Wildflowers, and then some of them are from the Grunge Botanicals by Sweet Pea Curiosities, and some of them are from Line Dot Arrow, the Floral Leaves and Treasures of Nature kits. And I will link below to the video where I created the cover, and in that video, in the description, I link to all of these kits, so if you want to check some of them out. So like this one, I believe is from the Wildflowers kit, Among the Wildflowers kit. So I think I forgot to say at the beginning, welcome to my channel, Making Crafts. So for those who have never been here, welcome. And for those who have been here before and are subscribers, welcome back. I'm so glad that you are hanging out with me and crafting today. And so I hope that you will sit down and craft with me or collage right with me. And collage is just something that you can really do that, for me, it's so therapeutic. I can just collage, especially when I have scraps like this and I don't even think about it. I just start adding them to my paper. It's very therapeutic for me because I can just collage and just relax. And I love to collage. I have lots of pieces of collage laying around that I really need to do something with, because a lot of times if I have scraps or just leftovers from kits that I've been working on, I'll sit down and I just collage. And so I need to do some things with them. I like to make journaling cards with them. I also like to make pockets and tags and things, but sometimes I make enough that they're just laying around. But for this one, it's not going to lay around. It's going to work perfect with this kit. Or with, I say with this kit, I mean with this journal. I'm forever saying kit, so hopefully I haven't said that a lot, but with this journal that I'm working on, I think it's going to look great with the journal. And so I'm so looking forward to spring. We've had some warm days recently, and I think though this weekend it's going to start cooling back down, but spring will be here before we know it. A couple of weeks and we'll have spring again. But I'm sure we'll have to have another cold snap or two before it actually gets nice and warm here. But we have been enjoying the days that were warm. So I know that this collage looks very busy, but once I get done and I get through Mod Podging it, then I'm just going to trim it down into journaling cards so you won't see as many, even though like I have the big pieces in the center. I added some larger pieces. You're really not going to see that whole big piece. It's going to get cut up. So I think it's going to look really good. And I am just leaving pieces hanging over the edge because when I get done, I will trim those off. I'll just trim it back up to fit the size of the scrapbook paper. And I have tons of the scrapbook paper. Years ago when I did scrapbooks, I would buy these paper pads like this, and it had some papers in it. It was wonderful, but then there's papers in it that I'll never use because they just don't match anything that I'm going to create. And so I have, and these used to come in big stacks. I'm not even sure how many came in a pack, but it was really thick stacks, if you remember, if you've ever did scrapbooking back then. And the paper was thinner. I don't know if you can still buy the thin paper like this now or not. Now when I get paper, I normally order, the paper packs I get have a lot less paper in them, but it is cardstock. And so most things I make, I use the cardstock now. So I thought this would be a great way to clean up some of that scrapbook paper and not throw it away, but actually use it up and not waste it. Because I think it'll add a little bit of structure to these journaling cards. But also, since the back is white, I'm just going to probably just ink those with my distressing ink, and then that'll be a great journaling spot. And this right here is just a book page. I had tried to use this book page on my cover and I didn't like it, so I just put it back in the pile of scraps and thought, well, it'll work perfect for this collage. And this little strip, I thought it was a little too dark for my cover, but I think it'll be perfect on a journaling card, so that way none of the paper goes to waste. So I have a lot of projects that I am working on. So this one was like a distraction. I got distracted and decided to work on this journal, but I'm having so much fun with it. And so I've got all these other projects that I've started that I feel like I need to be working on, but I keep wanting to go back working on this journal. So I thought this would be a good way to work with it today. And I have a journal that I've created that I haven't even had a chance to upload the video, but hopefully, I'd already showed you all how I made the cover. It was the blue journal. So hopefully in the next few days, I will be uploading the video of the blue journal, me creating it, and then a flip through. And I've also this week worked on another journal, and it's the New Style journal, and I was going to upload it on Tuesday, but then we did not have internet. And so it is a larger video, so I will be getting it uploaded soon if the internet will work with me. Sometimes the internet goes in and out, and so these videos are hard to upload. So we have one little piece left and our collage will be completed. So now I'm just going to trim around the edges and kind of straighten it up. I'm not going to get it perfect. I'm just going to get some of these pieces that are hanging over the edge trimmed off. I can square it up and even it out once I cut out my journaling cards or my pockets, whatever I decide to use it for, or tags. So I'm just going to Mod Podge my collage now, and I'm just going to do a good coating over the whole thing, and I'm just going to do one coat because I don't think that it needs to be sealed up too much. I just really like the looks of the Mod Podge on the cover, and so I wanted to try doing journaling cards and pockets that way just to see how it would turn out. The cover, I think, was the first time I've really Mod Podged a collage like this, and I really loved how it turned out. It did take a little bit to dry, and get the tackiness away. But once that did, it was kind of humid here and warm the day I did the cover. It seemed to be drying fast, but I think the humidity in the air caused it to stay a little tacky longer. But once it totally dried, it was fine. And so I really loved how it looked, and I actually love how it felt. So I thought I would try that with this. So I've gone ahead and I have cut down some of the paper, and so I just cut it in half, and I was able to get 3 journaling cards from one half of the paper. And so now I'm just going to decorate each card up. And so what I've done is I fussy cut this little butterfly out of some of the grunge botanicals that I was using. It was a scrap piece that still had this big butterfly in it. So I just went ahead and I fussy cut the butterfly out to add it to the journaling card. And I really love this butterfly. The greens in it are just gorgeous. I'm not typically a green person. I don't use a lot of greens, but I really love the greens in this kit and the greens in this butterfly. And so I'm just going to add the butterfly to that one. I'm going to keep these very simple. Since there is so much collage in the background and it's so busy, I don't want to add too much to each card. And I don't know if I've told you, but before I cut these up, I waited for this to dry. So this is a few hours later, and so it did dry fairly quickly. And so once it was dry, then I cut it apart and I'm adding these. So they're good and dry now. So you do want to give yours time to dry. If you try this, you do want to give it time to dry before you start adding the decorations. And so this is just a little bird from a field guide that I had. And I sometimes, when I am just want to do something but not really think a lot about it, I do just sit and fussy cut. And so I sat and fussy cut a lot of these birds out months ago, and so I just keep them in a little box. And so I thought he would look really cute on this card. And then the butterfly, this, well actually this little card here is from, I think it's just the Tim Holtz ephemera pack that you get. I can't remember the name of it now. Normally I just take the pack and dump it into my little plastic box where I keep all my little ephemera pieces, so I don't remember what this one's from. And then the butterfly, I want to say is from, oh I can't, let me think here. I'm gonna have to possibly link it below. I can't think of the name of the shop. It's an Etsy shop, and so I think that's where these came from. It's just some die cuts. So it was a digital file that I downloaded, and then I just cut them out on my Silhouette Cameo. I hate that I can't remember the name of it. The wording here, I think, came from the exact same shop that I'm putting, the wording I'm putting on this card came from that shop as well. And this bird is again from the field guide, and then the butterfly may be a Tim Holtz, and then the specimen card is definitely Tim Holtz. And the wording also came from that same shop, and I really hate that I can't remember who it is. But if I can remember it and figure it out, I will put the name of the shop and link below. I think I can look back in my Etsy purchases and find the name of the shop, since I can't remember it right off right now. And so this is just 3 quick journaling cards that you can create in no time at all. It didn't take long at all to do the collage. The most time probably was the drying time. And so I really love how these turned out, and I think they're going to look great in the journal. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed watching me collage, and I hope that you will give it a try. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And bye.